Welcome back. Let's talk about trig functions. Trig functions are the ratios between different sides of a right triangle. And the three main ones that you're going to run into are sine, cosine, and tangent. Then you also have the reciprocals of these three, which are cosecant, secant, and cotangent. Let's start by talking about the basic three, and then we'll talk about the reciprocals afterwards. So as I said, the trig functions are going to be ratios of different parts of a triangle. And the acronym that most people use to remember the different sides that we use for the ratios is SOH CAH TOA. SOH CAH TOA. This is for sine, cosine, and tangent. And the second and third letters in each of these syllables is for the different sides of a right triangle. O means opposite, H means hypotenuse, and A means adjacent. Let's draw an example right triangle over here to work with. And we're going to call this unknown angle theta. And this will be a 3, 4, 5 right triangle. Sine is the opposite over the hypotenuse. So sine of theta is going to be the opposite edge, which is 4, over the hypotenuse, which is 5. So sine of theta for this triangle is 4 over 5. And it's that simple. Whenever you're asked to find a trig function for a triangle, you are just creating a ratio of the corresponding sides. So for sine, it's the opposite over the hypotenuse. For cosine of theta is the adjacent over the hypotenuse. So adjacent means next to. So it's going to be this 3, the side that's connected to this angle. It's going to be 3 over the hypotenuse, which is 5. So cosine of theta is 3 over 5 for this triangle. And tangent of theta, tangent is opposite over adjacent. So it's the opposite side, 4, over the adjacent side, 3. 4 over 3. And that's it. That is your three basic trig functions, sine, cosine, and tangent. And they are all ratios of the different parts of a right triangle. Now, I'm going to erase these numbers, and I'm going to put the explicit definitions. So sine is opposite over hypotenuse, cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, and tangent is opposite over adjacent. The reason I wrote it out this way is because now we're going to talk about the reciprocal functions, which are cosecant, secant, and cotangent. Cosecant is the reciprocal of sine. So cosecant of theta is 1 over sine of theta. This means that it is the same thing as hypotenuse over opposite. You take the sine function and you flip it upside down. So in this case, cosecant of theta is going to be 5 over, that's the hypotenuse, over the opposite, which is 4. So cosecant theta is going to be 5 over 4. It's the reciprocal or the flipped version of sine. Secant of theta, secant of theta is 1 over cosine of theta, which means it is hypotenuse over adjacent. So for this angle theta, secant is going to be 5, the hypotenuse, that's supposed to be a 5 over the adjacent side, which is 3. And lastly, we have cotangent. Just like the other two, cotangent is the reciprocal of tangent. So it is going to be 1 over tangent of theta, which is equal to adjacent over opposite. That means that for theta, the angle we have labeled, it's going to be 3 over 4. Interesting thing about cotangent and tangent. Since they are not dealing with the hypotenuse, and they're dealing with just the opposite and the adjacent edges, if I have this angle here, and I'm going to label it x. Usually we label the angles with theta, but I already have theta used. We're going to use x. If I take the tangent of this angle, angle x, it is going to be the same thing as cotangent of theta of the opposite angle. So tangent of x, remember, is opposite over adjacent, 3 over 4. They are the same thing. So that's an interesting relation between these two angles and the tangents of those angles. Last big thing of note is that a lot of people get confused about which one of these, cosecant and secant, go with sine and cosine. Everyone wants to pair cosecant with cosine because they both have co in their name. Unfortunately, that is not how it works. Secant goes with cosine, and sine goes with cosecant. That is just something that you're going to have to know. That's just something that you're going to have to get used to. And that is all that I have for this video. It's a short one today. If you have a topic you would like for me to cover in the future, leave it down in the comments below. If you found this content to be helpful, consider liking and subscribing. And as always, have a fantastic day.